Hi, welcome to Tutorials Point. In this video series, we are going to discuss a very popular tool for the web designers in order to create the user interface in a more efficient manner. And here we are going to discuss about the less. Nowadays, less is a very popular tool which will give you the result as CSS, which will further put some styles on your web page. So before getting started with the discussion of less in a very great detail, make sure that you are aware of HTML and CSS. For understanding less, you should have a very great knowledge of CSS, though you don't have to write any CSS, but at the result you are getting that CSS itself. So you should be aware of the each and every concepts of CSS. Along with that, you require a very basic text editor like Notepad, Notepad++, which we use in Windows generally, and any latest web browser. Alright. Here in this curriculum, we will be putting the implementation in any IDE like Visual Studio, or you can choose any IDE of yours that will give you some feature like IntelliSense, which will help you in writing the code of less more easily. So let's start discussing about the less. Basically, less stands for Linear Style Sheet. Linear Style Sheets. Alright, so LE for Linear, SS, these style sheets. So basically, this is a preprocessor in which you will be writing some less code, and as a resultant, you will be getting the CSS. So it's a dynamic preprocessor style sheet language, means it has its own syntax and you can write all these style rules which you used to do with CSS. You can do that here as well. Let's C is the name of the compiler which you will get when you will be installing the less in your system, right? So it will give you a less C compiler which will compile the less code to the CSS. Designed by Alexis Sellier in 2009. So basically it's an old technology designed in 2009, almost 9 years old. But yes, nowadays it is very frequently used by the organizations for the efficient web designing. So let's see what are the features which we will find inside the less. So here it is written in JavaScript. Basically, Alexis Sellier, who is the creator of less, has copied, means has inspired, has taken the inspiration from the SAS, that is Syntactically Awesome Style Sheet, which was created in 2006. So just taking the inspiration from that, he created the less. Initially, it was created in Ruby as of SAS as well. But later, the later version are created in the JavaScript. It is open source, means anyone can get it for free, don't have to pay anything, and is cross-platform, means it can be run in any particular platform, as well as it's cross-browser as well, means all the browsers nowadays support this less. Generally, they don't support less because less directly doesn't execute on the browser, but yes, all the Windows, means all the operating system has nowadays the compiler for less, which will give you the CSS result on the particular less code. Licensed under Apache. So this less is licensed under Apache. Now the question comes, if I already have a CSS, why should we go for less? Alright, or anything, any preprocessor which is giving you result as CSS. If I can directly write CSS, what is the use of such preprocessors? So let's see some of the benefits which we will get by using less. So it gives you cleaner and more readable code that can be written in an organized way. Like we do in programming, we create some methods, we call them inside, we put some nesting method inside method, or recursion, maybe loops, control statements. So that is actually more organized way of doing that. Alright, but in plain CSS, we have to define each classes separately. They never show any nesting kind of thing. So understanding a big CSS file can be a difficult task. So you can write the code in less, which will give you some indentation, the nesting things will be there. So it will be more readable and more easy to understand. Alright, we can define styles and it can be reused throughout the code. We can do the same with the CSS, because as a result of this less file, you will be getting a CSS file which you can later link or import in your HTML pages for the reusability. Easily generate CSS that works across the browser, because all the browsers understand CSS. So even if that CSS is a result of a less file, it can be used in any of the browsers. Maintenance can be achieved faster by the use of variables. What is that? Let's take a scenario like I have taken blue color font for the different purposes. Maybe I have taken it for some particular ID selectors, maybe for some DIVs, maybe I have taken that for some headings, maybe for some paragraphs. All are using the same shade of blue color. Later, I want to replace all the blues with the greens. So in CSS, you will have to go at each and every place and have to change the blue color to green color. But here in less, by using the variables, you can just change the value of that variable at one place, and wherever you have used that variable, the changed value will be applied. Enables you to reuse the whole classes easily by referencing them to your style as your style rules. Alright. For suppose you have created a CSS class, or here we can call it functions or mixins, and you can call it inside another one, so that the rules, the styles which you have defined inside one class can be used inside another classes as well. So this is about some of the benefits and introduction of less. In our next video, we'll see how to set up the environment for less, and then we will be able to start with the implementation.